Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to look at some cueing mistakes that you might not be aware that you're even making. So these are some common things that I'm seeing when I'm working with players on the table, some mistakes that players make, and sometimes you're not even consciously aware that these things are happening. Now, the first thing we're going to look at is the bridge hand. Now, it seems fairly simple that we form our bridge on the table. There's lots of videos talking about how to form a nice stable bridge when we're playing shots. But actually what happens very commonly here is that the bridge is formed, but when we play the shot, the bridge hand actually moves as we strike the ball. Now, that's very common depending on the psychology of the shot that we're playing. So let's say that I've got a black off the spot here and I want the white to go into the pack of reds. It's very, very common that because of what's happening with the cue ball and the white going into the pack, that I might play the shot, and as I play it, my bridge hand moves about on the shot because I'm thinking about getting the white into that pack of reds. And lots of times when I point this out to players, they're not even aware of the bridge hand moving. Now, the only way to stop it is to become very, very focused on keeping it still. So I'm going to play another split into the pack here, but this time I'm going to really focus on keeping my bridge hand nice and still. So I'm playing the shot. Sometimes you'll see a player tap their finger and that's for a bit of timing on the shot. But when I actually play it, I'm going to keep my hand very, very still so that when I go into the pack, I make sure I'm focusing on removing that bit of movement. So maybe film yourself. See if when you watch yourself back playing, you've got that bit of movement in the bridge hand that can easily throw the cue offline. Now, this second one is another very common one that players might not even be aware of. I've got a shot on the black here and I'd like to screw the white onto this red. Obviously, I can't screw on and off the cushion because these two reds are in the way. And I think what a player is worried about here is that when they just do a perfect screw, so they screw back, but we're not really landing high enough on the red here. So we need to do a bit of a stun screw effect. We need to, instead of coming right the way down the bottom of the cue ball, just go a little bit higher to create some screw and some stun to get the white moving up. Now, it's very common that what happens on this shot is that players then, because they know they want to steer the white here, but there's not much angle, they accidentally, without even realising it, they will steer the cue very slightly, get onto the red ball nicely like this, but not actually pop the black off the spot. So here, you really have to train yourself to make sure that you commit to the line standing up behind the shot here. So I'm trying to pick the angle that I need on this. To red, isn't it, on the black spot? So this angle I need on the red here. So I'm trying to pick it here so that my mind is completely comfortable with just delivering straight once I'm down. And I've got to hit a little bit higher up on the white so I get a bit of a stun screw reaction without steering. So I'll pick the angle there, then I'll get down to it, and then I've got to get that bit of stun and screw. And then I've created that bit of stun and screw, still potted the ball. But what really helped my mind to cue in a straight line was picking the line in that standing position and absolutely committing to that once I actually then got down on the shot. Now, I've moved the other camera so it can zoom in and look at me a bit closer up here. And this third problem is that when players' eyes are looking at the wrong thing, and it's very, very common that when we're trying to get the cue ball to do a specific thing, our eyes actually focus on the cue ball too much and we forget to even pop the ball in front of us. So let's have a look at that. So I'm trying to pop this black, get the white to stun past these two reds over here, leaving a shot on these reds. And it's very common that obviously you'll get into the shot, do your little checks between the white and the black and the white and the black, but then when you actually hit it, you find yourself looking too much at what the white ball is doing, and your eyes are looking over here, completely forgetting to even pop that black off the spot. So very, very important here to try and make sure that you train yourself here to, once you've made your plan, just focus on that black ball and don't worry about looking at the white ball until you see that the black ball is going into the pocket. So I would stand behind my shot here, finding my shot line, make sure I've got everything lined up. And then once I'm down, I'm doing my checks between the white and the black and the white and the black. But then when I hit, make sure I'm looking at the black, track it to the pocket, and then I can look up at the cue ball to make sure that's been successful as well. So the really important thing there, you've got to build in that habit of really focusing on making sure that you pop that ball, pop the object ball, and look at the white after as the secondary thing. Lots of players don't even realise they're taking the eye off the ball at the last minute. Now this fourth one here is very common, and this is what we call almost like the pullback or the snatch back after players deliver the cue. So instead of delivering the cue all the way forward, players deliver the cue and then almost start to pull back before they've hit the cue ball. Very common. So on this shot here, I want to pop the green and I want to screw back for the yellow. And it's very, very common here that you'll see players kind of do their feathers up, and then when they hit it, they almost pull the cue back like that. So you can see that I didn't really manage to generate the backspin on the white. It's a very, very common thing because psychologically in our mind, we're trying to grab hold of the cue ball. You're feeling that it's almost like a lasso. You're trying to get the cue ball to hit the green and then pull back. So that's why it encourages you to pull your arm backwards. Obviously, we can't get away with doing that. So we've got to push all the way through the cue ball. So I've got to get used to lining up my shot like I normally would, making sure everything's good, and then when I deliver, I'll just push right the way through, right to my chest, keep still, and that's how I generate that backspin on the ball there. But it's very, very important that you get into the habit of just delivering forward, so you haven't got all these different cue actions where some you push forward, some you pull back, sometimes your eyes are looking at the wrong thing. So yeah, you have to deliver to your chest. Very, very common thing. People don't even realise sometimes that they're doing it. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to give it a like. If you're new to the channel and you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. That just really helps me to keep all these instructional videos coming regularly. For anyone that's interested in any personal one-to-one training sessions, I'm working on this very table, helping players to improve their game all the time. So if you look in the description box below, you'll see all my details there. Get in touch and I'd love to help you personally with your game. And as always, I'll catch you all in the next video. Cheers.